Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order the May 23rd regular meeting of the Everett Public School Board of Directors to order. We will start by having our land acknowledgement by Director Mitchell.
Thank you. We respectfully acknowledge that we are on the traditional lands of the Coast Salish, Snohomish, and Tulalip peoples. We express our deepest respect and gratitude to the ancestors of this land on whose shoulders we stand. In Everett Public Schools, we strive to create equitable outcomes and build a culture of inclusive belonging for all students, teachers, staff, and community.
Thank you, Director Mitchell. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Will the Secretary please call the roll?
President Lassane.
Present.
Vice President Mitchell.
Present.
Director Herman.
Present.
Director Nichols.
Present.
Director Mason.
Present.
Student Representative Colley.
Present.
Student Representative Gilbertson.
Present.
Good evening, everyone. We'll first start off business with the adoption of the agenda. Dr. Saltzman, would you please introduce tonight's agenda?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair, Board of Directors, and to the public this evening. Tonight's agenda contains the following: a segment for recognitions, the superintendent's report, a segment for board comments, a segment for public comments, a segment for routine business, segment for information and discussion, segment for new business, and a segment for upcoming agenda items. Since publishing the agenda, the following change was made to the agenda. Item 7.01, the superintendent's report, the presentation was added. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Saltzman. Is there a motion on the floor to adopt tonight's agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Director Mitchell and seconded by Director Nichols to adopt tonight's agenda. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll now proceed to the vote. All those in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, say no. Very well. The motion carries. The agenda has been adopted. We'll now move to section 6.0. Sorry about that. 6.0, which is recognitions of the 2023 National Medalist for Scholastic Art and Writing Awards.
Yes, thank you. Good evening, President Lassane, Board Directors, Dr. Salzman, and the public. We are very honored and excited this evening to take a moment to recognize the 2023 Scholastic Art and Writing Competition Award winners. This year, we had 4 students placed in the 2023 State Regional Scholastic Art and Writing Competition. All 4 of those students scored at the top of all high school aged artists in Washington State, which includes several arts magnet high schools. 2 of these students are headed to the national competition in New York City, where they will compete against the top teen artists across the country. Unable to be here this evening is Kalia Park from Gateway Middle School. She earned a silver medal for her piece, Is That All? And we have 3 other winners here tonight that will be introduced by their principals. First up, we will have Cascade High School Principal Michael Takayoshi, followed by Everett High School Principal Kelly Shepard. Mr. Takayoshi?
All right. Hey, good evening.
Good evening.
All right, so this is Haneen Al-Ankushi. Haneen is a fantastic digital artist. So anything you see from her is just the level of detail is just amazing. So we also have her AP art teacher, Miss Beebe, here today, and this is what Miss Beebe said about Haneen. Okay. Haneen is one of the most talented artists, digital artists, that I've ever had in 20 years of teaching. Her work is always at a collegiate, even professional level. Her poster design, so she did the poster design for our Night of the Arts this year. It was fantastic. For our Spring Night of the Arts show was absolutely amazing. She is a joy to teach because she is always pushing herself to improve her skills in figure drawing, color choices, beautiful compositions. She's always open to feedback from both peers and teachers to improve her artwork. What else can I say? She's an incredible artist, and we are lucky to have had her at Cascade. So just a fantastic work that she does. So there we go.
Does she have words that she would like?
Do you have any words you want to say?
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna stay up here.
Oh, okay.
Do you have family that you'd like to invite up?
Would they like to come up?
Would you like to come up?
No.
Come on, please, you can.
Maybe or Mr. Takayoshi, would you both like to come up?
Yeah.
How are you? Good to see you. Good to be seen.
Okay, right over here. There you go. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Thank you.
No, she doesn't. She's very and that's a good. Thank you so much. Perfect.
You can go ahead and sit. Thank you, Haneen. And next up from Everett High, we have Principal Kelly Shepard and her students.
Thank you very much for having us here, directors and public. Joining me tonight is actually Selena Escamilla. Unfortunately, at the last minute, a family emergency happened. She's okay, but Jayla Croft wasn't able to be here. But I'm going to go ahead and introduce both of them. I like to refer to them as my Wonder Twin powers. I probably just dated myself, but they are two amazing young people that you often see just creating magic together. So when asked staff to describe words for these two, words were creative, inspiring, involved, achievers, contributors, to help describe the impact they've had in our school. While each are beautiful people on their own, they are connected through friendship and support and challenging each other to be their best selves. Artistically, they were recognized in the top 1% of the nation of the entries to the Scholastic Art Show. And you heard about their trip to New York. They're going in June, so an exciting time for them and their art teachers to go. Mrs. Leggett, their AP art teacher, couldn't be here tonight, which she was very disappointed, and is here with us, as well as Ms. Gaub, another art teacher who's joining them in New York. Jayla, her medium is 2D, or two-dimensional art. And what's common about both of them is they both focus on our societal issues. Jayla in particular is really focusing on addressing issues of race. And so when you see her artwork, you'll see how she communicates and speaks to that and wants to make a change in our world. While Selena focuses on three-dimensional sculpture, mostly through ceramics, she focuses on the societal issue of body image. So to have two young people who are truly changing the world for the artwork. When you walk into Miss Leggett's AP art class, it's like a kid in a candy shop. Can you see this in the shop? Or can you see this? Look at this. The inspiration that these two young artists that are developing show in her classroom excites her every single day and inspires her to continue to do that work. Selena and Jayla, though, are not just artists, but they're active at Everett High School. 2 weeks ago, they were the final stars in the 2023 Everett High Lip Dub, where you can see their creative prowess in seagull costumes and singing. But they thrive academically. I think each has 4 AP classes this year, as well as past. They have post-high school plans. Jayla is attending the University of Washington. And Selena here wants to be the next teacher, elementary teacher, art educator in Everett Public Schools and starting at Everett Community College. We're starting to recruit her now to come back and be a Seagull. And our Seagull community is proud to welcome her into the School of Champions Alumni Association as part of the longstanding tradition of amazing artists. So congratulations, Selena.
Oh, you get hers just. Oh, here is hers. Here's the right. I got the wrong one. And Kalia Park is not going to be here, so I have hers, and I can give that to you later. But congratulations, all of our students, and the opportunity to share your art with those within the districts, your family and community is very important. And I congratulate you on your hard work. Thank you so much. We'll now move to section 7.0, which is our superintendent's report. Dr. Salson.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Board of Directors, and to the public this evening. First of all, let me say again, congratulations to the artists and top 1%. So to those teachers and to those students, congratulations. Amazing, just amazing. I'd like to share with everybody that on May 31st from 5 to 6 p.m., each region will be hosting a live family outreach event, Let's Connect. It's not on Zoom, it is live, and it'll be the understanding of Tier 1 instruction and positive behavior supports. I think it's very important for our community to know that. What do these terms mean? We have so many terms in public education, and how can they help our youngsters? So we look forward to seeing everybody that evening. It'll be Jackson Elementary School in the cafeteria, Monroe Elementary School in the library, and Eisenhower Middle School in the cafeteria. So please attend. I have to commend the robotics event at North Middle School. The first Lego League tournament featured 32 robotics teams for our elementary and middle schools. The gym at North Middle School was electric with excitement. I will tell you, it was a packed event, and everybody come to see this beautiful facility, North Middle School, and to see our youngsters was amazing. We'd like to thank the robotics team led by Anthony Anderson, who led that evening with his team, and also to Melvin Bustamante and his staff for opening their school that evening. Thank you so much. Another wonderful day was giving the Superintendent Scholarships Awards, okay? What an amazing day that was. And I'd like to thank the Ed Foundation and Kay Fanton and her team, but I'd like to tell you who the winners were. Cascade High School, Jessica Finnicle, and honored by Melissa Hopkins. Everett High School, Deverett Olson, honored by Megan Adams. Jackson High School, Peyton Huber, honored by Dan Geary. And Sequoia High School, Ray Thomas, and honored by staff member Jeannie Thompson. It's just great to give out those scholarships and to see those students. Last night, I was honored to be part of the Rotary Club of Everett, and I want to thank the Rotary Club of Everett because last night they awarded, are you ready for this? Almost $342,000 in scholarships to over 60 students from Cascade, Everett, and Sequoia High School. Yes, over $342,000. Thank you to the Everett Rotary Club, our community, donors, teachers, counselors, administrators, and staff for working together to help these students gain a higher education start. It was just amazing. Last week, I attended the Everett PTSA Council. They had their awards night. Kudos to those outstanding educators, outstanding advocates, outstanding student advocates, golden acorns, and honorary life members. Our PTAs do so much for us, and it was just wonderful to be part of that beautiful ceremony. And I have to tell you something else. You walked into Jackson High School, it was like a ballroom, so well decorated. And to the PTA, say thank you. And our MC that night, Mr. Dave Peters, did a magnificent job. Thank you, Dave, for emceeing, and to Mr. Lance Ball and his staff for opening the school that evening. We had our community resource fair last Friday night. Many resources for parents, families, and opportunity to enroll students. We had so many partners there. The Fire Academy, the firemen, the police, Everett Search and Rescue, our own Ed Foundation, so many services to give back to our community. We held that event at 4 o'clock here at the CRC, and I will tell you, on a Friday afternoon, it was crowded. So I'm so proud of our EPS team for their incredible effort pulling this together, headed by our Family Community Engagement Coordinator, Abby Myers. If you don't know Abby Myers, well, great work that she did. And to our categorical director, Mr. Chris Fulford, amazing job that evening, getting everybody there, and a real sense of community. So I'm really proud of everybody for that. I want to mention that our families with students enrolled in our ECAP program were invited to attend a water safety education event and the jacket giveaway at Madison Elementary School. Thank you to our early learning team for spearheading this event and to our community partners for assisting with this distribution. As summer gets near, please be safe to all our students as we enter the water, okay? Might be warm out, those waters are really cold, and we want to encourage safety and life jackets. So I wanted to share that with everybody today publicly. And finally, Monday is May 29th. All schools and offices will be closed, but we are forever grateful for the ultimate sacrifice of those who died for the United States of America. And to all our military, I thank you for your service. We have 2 board members tonight that were in the military, President Lassane and Andrew Nichols, and thank you for your service to our great nation. Thank you this evening.
Thank you very much, Dr. Salzman. We'll now turn to section 8.0, which is board comments. The purpose of this agenda item is for directors and student representatives to have the opportunity to share what they have encountered through their work in the district, in schools, as well as in the community. So, Director Mitchell, would you like to start off?
Oh, yes, I will be very quick because I'm very excited. I'm letting Pete know that I will be at the Multicultural Night at Emerson on Thursday night. I think I've got the date right. And it'll be the first one I'm attending, and just very, very excited. And I have a friend that's a teacher in the district, goes, oh, that should be a wonderful night because of the Spanish program there. So hopefully Andrew, do I have the date right? Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Looking at a parent. Good, great. I'm gonna do my best to be there. That's all I have.
Thank you very much, Director Mitchell.
Go down the line. Sure. Yeah, just another shout out for the Everett PTSA Council Award celebration last week. Over 120 individuals were recognized in all of our schools. And so special shout out for Valerie Cunningham and Georgina Johns, who are the event coordinators, and Dave Peters was an excellent MC. So really fun to be celebrating all of the good work that's happening in our schools on behalf of PTA and PTSA. So thank you.
Director Nichols.
I just wanted to echo my congratulations to our student artists that were honored tonight. It's extremely difficult not only to make art that is meaningful to you, but to actually put it out there for judgment. And we are so lucky to have them in our community. I've seen all of their artwork, and it is really, truly phenomenal. So I'm glad that they were able to do that and experience it. I hope they continue doing that moving forward.
Director Mason.
And I had an opportunity to attend my first multicultural night on Friday. It was View Ridge's first ever. And just a really well-organized event. Kids were just having a blast. But one thing that I noticed also is it was a great connection for parents to, because they bring their kids, and so they had an opportunity to connect amongst themselves. And so, at the end of the day, the stronger our communities are around our schools, the more successful our schools will be. So I just appreciate that all of our schools now are doing these multicultural nights. I just think they're really, really fabulous. So thank you.
Thank you. Student Rep Colley.
There hasn't been much that's happened since the last meeting. We are doing SBA testing this week. So we've had a late start today and Thursday, which everyone's been pretty happy about sleeping in. We just had a senior versus staff volleyball game last weekend. That went really well. And we had a talent show at the Everett Civic Auditorium on Friday, which was a really great turnout. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Student Rep Gilbertson.
Hi, we also have the SBA, and I had to take the Wallcast today. Yeah, that wasn't that fun. But we just had the lip dub last week or the week before at Everett High, and everyone had a great time with that, and there was a lot of school spirit, and we got to, during our rep period, they all brought us into the auditorium, and as a whole school, we got to watch the video together. Also, senior prom happened this last weekend, and I got to attend that, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah, and everyone seemed to have an amazing time, just getting to see friends all dressed up and everything. Yeah.
Getting our community involved in our schools is very, very important. I had the opportunity to attend Eisenhower Middle School's Multicultural Night, and I can truly say I had a great time there. It was a short time there, but I was able to, I guess you would say, have appetizer before dinner very easily with all kinds of foods. I mean, true. Turkish delights, oh gosh, yes. And food from Ukraine. It was just wonderful. It was truly wonderful. And I could see the kids were having a blast. They were just running from one table to another table and reading all the descriptive informations they had on the different cultures there. And then there was I didn't get to see the entire event, but there was I guess you would say a dance show, and I missed part of that one. So I'm looking forward to the next time. I also had a chance to go over to Woodside Elementary. This was a little bit different. This was a family fitness festival, and I truly enjoyed that one. That was fun. They even provided, I guess you would say it was a one-on-one basketball tournament for individuals that wanted to show their skills on the court. And I can truly say these elementary school kids were amazing. Some of them have already started to show that once they get into high school, any high school teachers out there, coaches, well, I can tell you this, you're going to have a good team on your hand. But they were able to also give information about stroke. What are the signs of stroke? How do you get involved in stroke? What you should be doing, i.e. call 911 fast. Remember, fast, being able to identify what a stroke is and what's occurring. They also got the community involved by bringing in a demonstration from a Taekwondo, I don't know, dojo, I think you call them, Taekwondo dojo, and just different information about how you can get your family involved in fitness and become more involved with eating the proper foods and fruits and vegetables. And I could say one thing is the ice cream and cookie dough was great. It was great. So I enjoyed it. Woodside Elementary, they did an awesome job. And this was their first one, and they plan more to come. And so that's fantastic. Getting your community involved with what you do and what you advocate on campus is very important. We'll now move to section 9.0, which is public comments. We set aside this time during our regular meeting to hear from our constituents. We do this because we value public input and we want to hear what you have to bring to the table. Remember that this is just an opportunity for us to hear and listen to what you're saying. We do not discuss, we do not debate an item. The first person up for public speaking is Mr. Aaron Wythe. And he is a parent of a student enrolled at Hawthorne Elementary School. Mr. White.
This is, okay, you can hear me.
You will be given 3 minutes. The green light will indicate your time is 3 minutes. The orange light will tell you that you have 30 seconds left, and the red light will indicate that your time is up.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So, good morning. I'd like to thank you for listening. Also, have making changes that I've already brought up in the past at the elementary school. As you all know, we're in a changing world, and we need to change with that. As you guys know also that what happened on Friday, her school was locked down, and it was an active shooter. That active shooter was 30 feet from my bedroom window, which put me laying down in the middle of my house, calling my mom and saying, if I don't make it, you need to pick her up. And if that's me, I can't imagine what these kids will go through. They need to feel more safe. And as you know, that a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. I don't know what my ideas will go, but if some of these will go through, that'd be great. I don't know if there's cameras in the schools. If they are they linked to the PD? I noticed when I drove by there today, all the windows are not safety windows, they're regular glass. To get in there, you need a sledgehammer. That's it. They're not safety wire glass. There's no metal doors in front of them, nothing. I've gotten bids, or not bids, but prices on things. It's $250 for a magnetic door lock that when it closes, it's done. It closes. It's a button you push to get out, and you need a key fob, a code, or a card to get back in. That's something easily you could integrate into a hall pass for a child so they can get in and out. I've also contacted about window shutters for these particular windows. The bid for that, I'm probably sure you guys aren't going to do. My idea is that every window has a shutter that you hit a button, centralized, or in every room has a button. You push a button, every window gets locked down with a metal shutter. You guys probably aren't going to do that. But every other window in that school is regular glass. Also, I went by Everett High School, same windows, and window C114 was left open. I'm just asking for more security at these schools, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming in, Mr. White. We appreciate your comments, and you will be receiving a reply from the school board.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now move to item 10.0, which is the consent agenda. Dr. Salzman, would you provide an introduction to our consent agenda?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair, Board Directors, and the public. The board's consent agenda includes repetitive business items such as meeting minutes, personnel actions, expense vouchers, surplus lists, gifts and grants, and recurring contracts. Sometimes it includes items that occur less frequently but are of routine business nature. These items are usually reviewed by the board in the Friday report, 1 or more weeks before the board meeting. This gives directors time to ask staff questions or to consider discussion about the policy implications of those items. The board votes on the consent agenda in a single motion. By its definition, a consent agenda is not debatable. In the case of this consent agenda, the superintendent's office received and answered one question regarding the personnel report. The consent agenda is presented as published for board approval. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Salzman. A motion to adopt a consent agenda is in order.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Director Herman and seconded by Director Mason to approve the consent agenda. Does any director wish to remove an item from the consent agenda, place it in new business so that it can be heard? Hearing none, no requests, we'll now proceed to the vote. All those in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say no. The motion carries. The consent agenda is approved, Dr. Salzman. We'll now move to section 11.0, which is a strategic progress monitoring section. There are no items scheduled to come before this meeting. We'll move to item 12.0, which is information and discussion. We have section 12.01, an item on placement seminar spotlight. Dr. Bowden.
Music.
Jared, can you help me with this one? Thank you so much. Oh, it's down here.
Let us play.
We don't want this yet. Yep. Perfect.
There you go.
Perfect. Thank you so very much. PowerPoints I can handle, video throws me off a little bit. Good evening, President Lassane, Board Directors, Dr. Salzman, and the public. I'm really honored tonight to get to share a board spotlight, which is a feature at board meetings to highlight or showcase a special program or course in Everett Public Schools. And this evening, I'm excited to feature our AP or Advanced Placement seminar courses. So AP Seminar is actually a course that we offer to our 10th and 11th grade students in our high schools. And it is the equivalency of either English 2 or English 3 for their graduation requirement, depending on a student's grade level and their high school English courses that they've completed. AP Seminar is a foundational course engaging students in conversations and exploring the complexities of real-world topics and issues by analyzing divergent perspectives. It's a program in which students explore their passions in rigorous classes and take on challenging topics. Students work with their teachers and their classmates to engage in deep thinking on college-level coursework. The course, as we have it in Everett Public Schools, can meet the English and/or CTE graduation requirements. And the assessment for the AP Seminar actually includes 2 performance tasks plus an exam. AP Seminar is part of what we call the AP Capstone program, and you'll see here on the screen. Along with its partner course, AP Research, students learn to establish perspectives and make connections to their real-life issues. Students who complete the AP Capstone program may be eligible to earn AP Seminar and Research Certificate or the AP Capstone Diploma, both of which are designations available on the student's final transcript. The AP Seminar and Research Certificate can be earned with an AP exam score of a 3 or higher and an AP Research exam score of a 3 or higher. The Capstone Diploma can be earned with an AP Seminar exam, the Capstone Diploma can be earned with an AP Seminar score of 3 or higher and AP Research 3 or higher, and the addition of 4 AP exams with a score of 3 or higher. And I'd love to share a little bit more about AP Seminar, but what I'd really like to do is let the staff who teach AP Seminar and our students who participate in this course today, this year, share a little bit for you. So I'm going to do a new share, and I have a video for you. And hopefully I've done that right. Okay, thanks. I'm getting the thumbs up.
So AP Seminar is a class where the kids get to study a problem of their choice, and they have to break it apart into the most relevant pieces. We call those lenses. So environmental, political, cultural, social, economic, scientific, all of these different pieces will exist in a problem, and they have to find credible evidence for each one of the relevant lenses, and then research possible solutions to those problems. So the whole process is like an exploration into a topic, and the kids get a lot of choice, a lot of freedom, but they have to go like to the end of the topic. So I think it's what learning is supposed to be. Kids are supposed to explore something and have their own curiosity drive them, their own questioning process drive them. And so AP Seminar gives them the chance to go do that across the world.
You know, it's a great opportunity to be in a situation where you can explore something that you're interested in doing. AP Seminar is a stepping stone to AP Research, which is the second class in the capstone program. And in that second class, that whole entire class, the research class, is based on something that the student chooses to do. And with AP Seminar, they get to kind of survey different topics that they're interested in. But I would say just the fact that you have choice in that, and I feel very strongly that it helps them increase their writing skills and research skills, which are hugely important for all the classes that they take here and obviously beyond high school.
Kids who leave seminar and especially then go on to research and do an even larger, project and presentation, leave it knowing that what they did had value for them, which I don't think they can say in every class all the time.
The type of students that should take it are the kids who are just have curiosity and then have some kind of drive. If you want to learn about something, that you'll pursue that topic to the end. If the kid is into that, they're the one for the class. Yeah.
The reason I chose AP Seminar was because I had never been really confident in my research ability and being able to tie in multiple sources into one IR page, and this class has really helped me to be able to learn that ability.
I chose it because I wanted a challenge for myself when I was presenting, because previously I hadn't done very good presenting and I wanted to get more confident with that. And I think it's been a really good experience. I actually really love the class, and we have a lot of more freedom than we would in a normal class.
I chose AP Seminar because I wanted more of a challenge in my English class, because I was taking pre-AP English and I thought that was pretty easy, so I wanted to try something harder.
I'd say this class is as I'm taking 2 other AP classes, this class is like the easiest, you could say, in the fact that you're still putting a lot into it, but like the final is it's not like information based, it's more like skills. So you get to develop those skills in the course, and I don't know if it's just the teacher or the course in general, but there's a lot of practice, and you're practicing for exactly what's going to be on the final.
You know, so many times when somebody gives a presentation, they're being graded on their performance of how they can get that out, but there's so much more to it, because what are you explaining? What are you talking about? Right. So there's a separate row for, okay, what you're actually making an argument for, and then there's a separate row for the presentation skills, and there's a separate row for slide design. And then there's an oral defense part of it where they get asked a question and they have to be able to provide some details about some things. And I think breaking it up that way, so even if they don't do fantastic, they're not great speakers, it's only 1/5 of the, yeah.
An IRR is basically an individual research report. Basically, we're writing about a certain topic that we chose. Now, we have to add a certain amount of words, have a certain amount, a certain punctuation style or something like that. But overall, the idea is we're trying to explain a certain lens. And I think overall, it just helps you write and formulate your ideas for your next thing, which is a team multimedia presentation.
So, with all things considered, Housing First is the best solution to combat homelessness in America. Their permanent housing units provide the guaranteed security of a home at a much lower price than other housing services. Thank you for listening to our presentation.
What is a way that your solution makes you think differently about your own research?
Our solution of implementing permanent housing to the homeless population makes me think differently on my own personal research, because I've found through my ethical lens research that the homeless population has very high suicide rates, and their overall higher percentage of depression is present in the homeless population. So by providing them a sense of security in their own home, they have the opportunity to feel more included in society, and they have the opportunity to actually go about life as a regular person and not feel excluded.
I thought that your PowerPoint was extremely well structured. It was really easy to follow, especially the data. All of your charts were super simple and easy to understand, even if you've never seen the formula.
I feel like an expert now because you put so much information on it, and it just was so informative, and it looked so nice, and you guys you did it so well. Good job.
I loved how confident you all seemed, and even if you guys stumbled over your words a little, you recovered exceptionally well.
Yeah, so this is a very complex topic, and you could have gone in so many directions, but you were able to find the pieces of information that mattered the most about each stage of the process, the problem, and then both of the solutions. And you picked the pieces that were the most significant to this issue. And what that does is it reflects your insight into the topic, and and also your choices and your decision making in the whole process. So nice work. Let's give it one more round.
I would recommend this class because it is a major learning opportunity. One of the things that I wasn't really confident in was presenting and like going up there and speaking. So being in this class has really helped me learn that and kind of find that confidence. And it's just a major life skill, you know what I mean? To be able to present, to be able to talk, to be able to really think on your toes as well is something that I've learned from this class.
Public speaking and becoming much more comfortable by talking to a crowd, as well as time management, because this class is very, it's very strict on the way that you need to be very strict with deadlines, because if you don't meet that deadline, then you just fall behind. Another one is just cooperation and working with the group, because we've done like three, one in the beginning of the year, the mock TMP, and then this TMP, which is basically just working with groups, and just in academic way, just finding credible sources as well.
I actually do love teaching this class. The main thing with me is I have a background in science as well as English, and this is totally in my wheelhouse. And I really think kids need to understand that the world is multidisciplinary, and that English and science and math and all the above, it doesn't actually exist in a vacuum. So that's why I love this class. As kids are encouraged to kind of study what they love and what they're interested in, and eventually to kind of make connections to everything else. And that's why I love it.
They're not just learning to solve a problem, which itself involves independent research, right? And all of these other kinds of skills, right? But then they are thinking critically about the best way to deliver that, their presentation for that issue. So it means they're incorporating all of these sort of meta strategies in it, right? Like the logical structure of the argument, right? What's the most compelling way to present their case, right? And then they're starting to look at those slides, and then they're kind of like, does this do that? Et cetera. And they're thinking about visual evidence, right? And all those kind of things. And when you hear kids do that, right, you're watching them collaborate with each other and kind of like challenge each other and help each other, and you've seen them build this presentation where they're going to get up and talk about this stuff out loud, you have a moment where you're like, that's learning.
The AP seminar is just a class that I know I'm going to take with me.
So I just want to say thank you. I think this is what learning is supposed to be. It's the quote from teacher Reed Hertig that you heard at the beginning, and I don't think we could have said it any better. I really want to thank our amazing, amazing AP seminar teachers, Reed Hertig, Blake Nelson, Josh Mellum, and Kyle Peacock, for their support in helping to create this video, which we certainly use as a board spotlight tonight, but also to help other students and families learn more about AP Seminar. There are a lot of families who may not know about AP Seminar. We thought this was a great opportunity for our public and our families to see that it's not just a traditional class, it's a much more skills-based thinking class, and wide open to many, many students. I also want to give a big thanks to our students who are in AP Seminar. We currently have 280 students across 3 of the high schools in AP Seminar. We're really excited to see that continue to grow. And as you can see from the testimony that you've seen from students and staff tonight, it certainly is a great course worthy of a spotlight. So thank you very much, and I'll take any questions that you may have.
Yeah, very good presentation. I really enjoyed that. Student reps, we're going to we're going to allow you to speak first because you're closer to it than we are. Because some of you may have been in AP classes or in AP seminar now, Benta, you might be. And so you might be able to provide any questions or comments.
Yeah, I took AP seminar my sophomore year. Unfortunately, it was during COVID, so I didn't really get to be in person to do much of the things, but it was a really great class, but it was obviously much harder to learn it online. So I wish I could have gotten the opportunity to do it in person, but I did really like the class. It was very informational, and I liked how you were able to think of like your own ideas to follow through with. So yeah.
Gilbertson.
I don't really have much to say about it because I never took the class, but I'm in AP psychology. And I think just having the AP classes gives a good insight into what it's going to be like heading into college if you plan on going into college.
Very true. Very true. Directors. Director Mason?
I can give testimony as a parent. I think my child was the first class to earn an AP capstone diploma back when we first introduced it in the district. And it was a really cool experience for him. His biology teacher connected him to a summer internship at Fred Hutch. And so he learned about genetics, and then that following year had the capstone, or the AP seminar, and then the research, thank you, the research class, and came back and used that experience to delve into the ethics around genetic editing and such. And so it was some of the best discussions in the household, just kind of processing that with him and helping him shape some of his views. And so great class. He loved it. I think probably one of the better series and topics that he had during his high school. So.
Fantastic. Director Nichols, do you have any questions? Director Herman.
Thank you for this. It was terrific, and thanks for putting together the video. What you had mentioned was exactly what I was starting to think of. Wouldn't this be great to use so that students and parents could see what the class is all about? So that's terrific. I was curious if any of our teachers do the We service recognition that AP offers, and that's sort of an additional service project that can go along with AP classes that seems like it would be a natural add-on.
It seems like it would, but I believe that Dr. Woolard might be more qualified to speak to that.
So for 3 years, we participated in the AP with We program alongside of 4 of our AP classes. There were service projects, and part of it was working with the community, or ideas about water and the environment were happening, especially around AP Human Geography. Actually, I think that that's in the queue for starting again. I think the pandemic made it very difficult to have the additional projects. So we still have in place our program commitment to it, because that's what it entails. So that's something that we're working towards again.
Okay, fantastic.
It's great that you know about that.
Director Mitchell.
Well, and I can also attest as a parent whose daughter benefited from it, because I really did it because, when how do you differentiate yourself when you're applying to colleges? Unfortunately, her college did not consider the AP capstone, but there are a lot of colleges that will. And so that it does show the rigor, not just that you took 17 AP classes, but like your son too, it was that you've done this research and seminar and all the other classes. But what it did for us is, like you learned in the research class, I know all about the relationship between George Washington and the Marquis de Lafayette. And when one of the teachers did say the value for them, that was her value, was learning about the Marquis de Lafayette, and she's at Lafayette College. And one of his values, and the slogan is all over the school, is it's cours non in French, which means why not? So it is, why not put your kid in an AP capstone program? Why not put your kid in a Spanish immersion program? It really is, why not do great things? And that's the school that's their motto, is really, why not do these great things? And I see that all over our campus. And I know that because of my daughter's AP research, which came after seminar.
Well, Dr. Bodnar, I'd like to thank you, because I know I've had the opportunity to sit in on AP seminars as a I guess you would say guest in that process. And I've been able to see some of our wonderful students present, and they did a fantastic job, and their research is amazing. And I was very enamored with the fact that you chose to provide this information on AP seminar. Also to be able to use it as a tool for increasing our number of students in that program later on, and showing parents what AP seminar can do for their students. This might be a great video for Parent U.
Exactly.
So that we can put it on Parent U on our website so that people can see it. And I would like to also thank all of our AP teachers for the things that they do for our students and how they guide it and shape them into becoming better researchers. Thank you so very much.
Absolutely. We'll be placing this on Parent University. We wanted to do our kind of reveal this evening at the board meeting, but we'll be putting it on Parent University and using that as a promotional tool. So thank you for the opportunity, the honor of presenting tonight.
Thank you so much. We'll now move to item 13.0, which is unfinished business. There are no unfinished business items to come before the board this evening. Moving on to section 14.0. The first item is approval of student representative to the board. I can get my computer there. Presenter is Ms. Mundell. She's here. Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah, Will next to me. Good evening. It is my pleasure to introduce to you Jackson High School sophomore student Will King for your consideration as a student board representative to the school board beginning September 13th, 2023. His term will end in June 2025. Will is currently serving as the sophomore class president at Jackson High School. He plays on the varsity tennis team and is also a member of the robotics team. Social studies teacher Keelan Davis said that Will is a curious and collaborative student who is highly regarded as a leader by his peers. As a student representative, Will continue to meaningfully contribute to important district-level conversations because he's able to evaluate the experiences of different stakeholders in the district. English teacher Tori McIntyre said that Will regularly shows great insight and a wonderful speaking ability. His peers follow his lead, listen to his ideas, and together they brought home a debate win. Principal Ballas said that Will King has demonstrated his leadership since he began at Jackson High School. He's involved in several activities, including being a key member of the amazing robotics team. He's currently taking 3 AP courses as well as being the sophomore class president. He's truly connected to the school community and consistently works to ensure that Jackson is a place where all students feel a deep sense of belonging and connection. Will be a strong contributor to the board and represents the students of Everett Public Schools extremely well. At this time, I ask that the board approve the Student Board Representative Selections Committee's recommendation of Will King as its new representative. We've got Will to introduce who he brought with him.
Hello everyone, I brought with me my mom, Jennifer King.
He's got a few things to share.
I'd just like to thank everyone, and I'd like to say how grateful I am for this opportunity to serve this district and my students. And I look forward to working with you guys in the future and hopefully improving the lives of all the students in this district. So thank you.
Director Herman had the opportunity to sit on your selection panel. I would like to propose that she make a recommendation for acceptance to the board.
I would be happy to make the recommendation that we approve Will King as the next student representative to the board.
Is there a second?
Second.
It is now time for a discussion, but before we go there and go for a vote, I'd like student rep Collie, as the outgoing student rep, to provide any insight she has as far as what a representative does to this future representative.
Yeah, congratulations. You're gonna have a lot of fun. You do get to go on a fun trip with them to talk to legislators, so that's very exciting. You just get to provide some insight on what's happening at your school and be able to provide like a place where students can go to tell you things that they want you to report back to the district. And yeah, it's a great opportunity. So congratulations.
Thank you.
And before we vote, student representative, you have an opportunity now to provide an advisory vote. Should we accept this individual, this student rep, as a representative to the board? Yes. Directors, all those in favor of the motion, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. The ayes have it. It's unanimous. Oh my gosh. Guess what happens now? You will be our new student rep in the fall and get to do all those fun things that Representative Colley just mentioned. Thank you so much and congratulations.
Thank you.
We'll now move to the next item. Did we get a picture? Did we take a picture?
Sure can.
If we, oh, great. Before they leave, can we do that?
Do it right now.
Yeah. Can we have a picture up here? Mom, would you like to come on up? Directors? Yeah, let's just see if we can't crowd in here, because if we all get
Dan,
down there.
Come up too. You
Come
guys,
up,
because
yes.
you have the essential
Oh,
role
yes.
in mentoring.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Do you want to go down there? Okay. We can stand up here. Yeah.
Yeah. And Danny's in here. No, Danny, come in.
Danny, you're going to be very, very involved.
You're his
now.
mentor and everything.
Let's
So,
just get going.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just a little bit there. We all in?
Yes, we're in.
Yep. I can't see Jen. There we go. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations.
Congratulations. We'll now move to item 14.202, which is policy 4207, regulations of firearms and dangerous weapons on school district property, proposed revision, first reading. Mr. Fleckenstein.
Yes, thank you and good evening. Proposed revisions to policy 4207, regulation of firearms and dangerous weapons on school district property. Clarify that a person with a concealed weapon, a pistol permit, may carry it on school property, but only outside of school buildings or when picking up or dropping off of students or when attending a board meeting that is located off campus. This clarification aligns with House Bill 1630, which was passed in 2022, and is now incorporated into RCW 941-280. Just to point out, one of the provisions that's outlined in the bill itself for the board's knowledge is that when conducting official meetings of the district, of the school board off our district properties, it'll be imperative or incumbent upon the district to post that at the particular location that you were at, to post signs of the restriction of possession of firearms and other weapons under this section. That is because while the law reads very clearly that on school district property, we regulate that, but when you conduct official business off district property, you will need to post those signs. So whatever may be in place at the place that you are meeting, you are now very clearly designating that nobody can enter your space with a firearm. So just want to point that out for you. And with that, the proposed revisions tonight to policy 4207, regulation of firearms and dangerous weapons on school district property, have been reviewed by legal counsel, the Policy Review Council, and the Superintendent's Cabinet prior to tonight's meeting.
Directors, are there any questions? I have, go right ahead, Director Herman.
Just a quick, so for example, graduation ceremonies, do we regularly as a district post that necessary language, that signage for those types of events?
Well, as this is just legislation that is passed and for you to adopt policy to that measure, right? Then once this is adopted, then yes, we would probably do that for graduation because it is district business of the board off-site.
I know this is specific to firearm, handguns and pistols, although it says regulated firearms and dangerous weapons.
I think it's important to understand this particular policy, and when you look at Chapter 9.41 RCW, which is a number of laws related to firearms, pistols, dangerous weapons in the state of Washington, state law that regulates that. There's a designation between what people would identify as a pistol or a handgun that is separate. You may know the legal process by which you are authorized to then carry one of those is through a concealed pistol permit in the state of Washington, or CPL, right? That is different than a reference under state law to, say, firearms, which is a broader category of weapon, and similar to a gun, but could be a rifle or shotgun or something like that. And then weapons in general, which are dangerous weapons, which their sole purpose under state law is defined to create bodily harm. Then, aside from dangerous weapons, you have weapons, which is something that you could use, but it's not intended to be used that way, right? So in discussing this particular policy or presenting it, it's important to know that the exceptions that exist under the district's policy about for who can't, and it's listed here in the policy as you can see, and I'm just displaying that, there are only certain exceptions by which you can possess a firearm as a concealed carry. And in that case, so you see the 4 that are listed here, the exception being that you must have, under Section A here, a concealed, they call it a concealed pistol permit if you actually apply for the permit, pursuant to RCW 941.070. So very different in what we're discussing in this policy relative to what type of, I'm just going to use a broad category of implement of weapon that you're talking about. It gets very specific in terms of what's allowable. So with that, President Lassane, I apologize for a lengthy explanation, but I'm happy to take any other questions.
I do have one more question. For parents that attend events with students on school buses or other vehicles going to different school events that are off campus, if parents are carrying under a concealed weapons permit or a concealed pistol permit, are they allowed to be carrying during that on that vehicle?
So I'll be specific. If you have a concealed pistol permit, right? No, you cannot bring that onto a school bus because that is exclusive to the district's property. It'd be similar to entering a building at that point, and the answer would be no.
And will parents have to report that they have a permit to carry if it is at an off-campus event?
No. So the policy merely states what's allowed under Washington state law. And what would allow a law enforcement officer to potentially arrest a person, right, for possession of some sort of a concealed weapon, right? We don't make those decisions. Our policy sets forth what the restrictions are. The addressing of that was something that we would engage law enforcement for support on. If somebody was acting in such a way who may be exhibiting a concealed pistol, we don't know if they have a permit or not. It wouldn't be prudent for the district staff to put them to start asking people, if they have or don't have a permit. So at that case, if we have concern by somebody's behavior, then we would contact law enforcement.
Law enforcement, okay. Are there any further questions?
May I ask just one last question? In light of the father that was here asking about how do we make our schools safer, just imagining a parent that does have a concealed weapon and the parent's doing everything legal, is on the school property, but maybe a young child reaches up, does something to show off or something that, pulls it out of dad's holster or wherever mom is carrying it, out of mom's purse or wherever. But we would have to have or advocate with our legislature to say that if we wanted to say that had to be kept in the car, that locked someplace in the car, that we if we did not want them on our property to be able to carry it, that would be that, I mean, even to conceal in the car, because it's concealed on them as they're picking up their child, and that's legal. But if we said we didn't want a child anywhere near a gun, that would be something our legislature would have to do. For them to say it would have to be locked in a car or not even brought onto campus. So that would be more restrictive, and that would have to go through law.
Yeah. So to be clear, and I'm just going to reference section
Yes.
C there in the revisions, prior to tonight, school board has adopted policy. There was 2 law changes, one in 2019, one most recently in 2022. And so we already have language that comports with state law around the conditions by which somebody could bring, and I'm going to be specific again, a concealed pistol permit, because a firearm is treated differently than a concealed pistol.
Okay.
With that, there's very specifics, and the RCW here is referenced, RCW 941050, upon which a concealed pistol would be under the person's, on their person, under control in the vehicle. And if it was not on their person, the conditions by which they would, 1, it have to be a locked vehicle, 2, it would have to be empty, it would not have ammunition in it, 3, it must be locked and out of sight. But you still would require a concealed pistol permit to do that.
Thank you for that clarity, just because, just gun safety and everything is on everybody's mind, and for that father, because, I got the news alerts too, so it is just, thank you for the clarity.
You're welcome.
I'm a little confused at this point, because from what I understand, even if you have a concealed pistol permit, you cannot bring it into the building. It must be locked in the car, correct? If you're coming to pick up your child.
So I'll go back to our policy, which is in line with state law. There are some exceptions to that, and as they're listed here, the following persons may carry firearms into school district buildings. Just to be brief: school resource officers, district authorized military or law enforcement. You kind of get the gist there, right? So to answer your question specifically, there are exceptions to whom may bring a firearm, in this case a concealed pistol permit, into our buildings. Of course, they have legally been authorized either by the military or some other law enforcement agency to do so, right? The remainder of your question is can people bring guns into our buildings who don't fit these exemptions? The answer is no.
Exactly. Okay.
But I'm wondering about the pickup line outside of the school.
Outside.
If they're on our property but not in a building.
Yes, and that's
legal.
That is legal
That is
if
legal.
they have a concealed pistol
permit, and it is concealed.
It doesn't have to necessarily be hidden.
Okay.
They have, when they go through the state and the local authorities to get that permit, right? They've done background checks and all the things for that.
Okay.
So we could keep going down that, but basically no. I mean, now of course, brandishing a weapon, even if you have a permit, is a very different thing, right? So that has to be controlled by its person who has the permit, meaning that it's not out and about, if you will, for lack of a better description. It has to be under their control, and it needs to be, and it is their legal responsibility to make sure that it stays secure on their person.
Any further questions? We'll now move this to second reading.
Thank you very much.
Consent of everyone? Very well. Thank you very much, Mr. Fleckenstein.
Yep. And then finally tonight, while minor in its scope, the proposed revisions to policy 5131, hiring of retired school employees, correct an error noted by WASDA in their model policy. Specifically, in a few places, the policy stated 1 calendar year when it was intended to state 1 calendar month. The necessary revisions have been made and are presented for your consideration this evening. And specifically, you can see some of these about the retirement piece. It's just very minor changes.
Are there any further questions on this policy? We shall move this to second reading with director's consent. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll now move to section 15.0, which is upcoming agenda items. Dr. Salzman, what's planned in our upcoming agenda items and meetings?
Thank you, Madam Chair, Board of Directors, and the public this evening. Since publishing the agenda, the May 24th special meeting has been postponed and will be rescheduled for June. Special meeting on June 6, 2023, the board will participate in the district's annual retiree recognition event. Regular meeting on June 13th, 2023, policies for second reading, a recognition for the graduating student representative, Sustainability Committee update, the Affirmative Action Plan, the State Auditor's reports, the Annual Comprehensive Financial Report for 2021-2022, Washington State Department of Agriculture Farm to School Grant, Whittier Elementary School Boiler Replacement, and National School Lunch Program Equipment Assistance Grant. Thank you, Madam Chair and Board of Directors.
Thank you very much, Dr. Salzman. We'll now move to section 16.0, which is executive session. There is an executive closed meeting scheduled for this evening just to discuss collective bargaining and any follow-up items on negotiations. With that being said, we will conclude the business that's coming before the, no? And then we can close the, executives, and then come back. We'll have the executive session for 15 minutes and then come back, and then we'll adjourn at that point.
And we'll go and
Thank you.
another meeting.
I'd like to make one clarifying fact. We are in executive session for litigation purposes prior to at 4:30, as well as right now, prior to the meeting at 4:30 and right now. We're going in executive session for litigation. Thank you. For 20 minutes, and then we will come back into the chamber. Thank you. We will immediately come back into, from executive sessions, and we will immediately adjourn this meeting. Have a good evening. We will now be going into closed session for bargaining. Thank you.